C3, old specification, June 2019, question 9. I think they were saving this one for the end of the specification. We got a curve Cx in terms of y with the trig function, and we want dx over dy in terms of x rather than in terms of y. Gives us a couple of other things to do as well. Here we go. So we're going to write the x as 1 plus cot y to the minus 1. So I can do dx over dy. So the minus 1 will go in front. We'll have the bracket to the power of 1 less the power of minus 2, and then multiplied by the bracket differentiated. This is what it's got in the formula book, and the cot differentiated is cosec squared. We've really just got cot y instead of kx, so it's going to be minus cosec squared y. Then I can write this as a fraction. The minuses will cancel, so I've got 1 plus cot y squared on the bottom and cosec squared on the top. But I've got to get into this form with x's. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use cosec squared is 1 plus cot squared on the top, and then I'll be able to get it in terms of x here using this. And then if I rearrange this, the x equals into this form, I've got 1 plus cot y equals 1 over x, and that'll sort the bottom line out. And if I use cot y is 1 over x minus 1, take the 1 over, it'll get this sorted out as well, because what I want is this in terms of x. So any cot y's, I need to put it in terms of x, hopefully get it this form. So the dx over dy then, I've got 1 plus cot squared on the top, I've got 1 plus cot y all squared on the bottom. So this is just 1 over x all squared. 1 plus cot y is 1 over x, so this is 1 over x all squared. Top line 1 plus cot squared, so it's 1 plus this squared. So I've got 1 plus 1 over x minus 1 all squared. Do need to do a bit of simplifying, so I'm going to multiply this bracket out. The top line will be 1, and then I'll have 1 over x all squared, and then the middle term when I multiply it out will be 2 of these two multiplied together, and the last term is just minus 1 squared, which is plus 1. And the bottom line is just 1 over x squared. I've got fractions in fractions here, so I can multiply the top and bottom by x squared, which is just give me a 1 on the bottom. And on the top, I'll have 2 times x squared. I'll have 1 over x squared times x, which is just 1, and then the minus 2 times x squared, which is the 2x. So these two will give me the 2x squared. This gives me the plus 1, and this gives me the 2x. Then it said the point A with y coordinate arctan a third lies on C. So y is equal to arctan a third. I'd like cot y really. This tells me that tan y is equal to a third. So cot y, because cot's 1 over tan, is equal to 3. So the x then is 1 over 1 plus 3, which is a quarter. And then to find dy by dx, I'm going to sub the quarter into here to get dx over dy. 2 lots of a quarter squared, minus 2 lots of a quarter, and plus 1. That gives me 5 over 8. So dy by dx, then I'll flip it. That gives me 8 over 5.